Now let's delve deeper into the central bank's latest monetary call with Professor Yoonsoo this morning. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So didn't we see the rate freeze coming, Professor?
Yes, the rate freeze was actually widely expected. According to a recent survey, 88% of bond market experts predicted that the BOK would hold the policy rate at 2.75%. Of course, there are rising concerns about slowing economy and trade risk. But several factors the rate got very difficult at this time. We have seen volatility in the exchange rate. Some days the won more than 31 against the dollar. In such environment, cutting the rate would add pressure to the won and lead to the capital outflow. Also, the U.S. Fed Chairman Powell has made it clear that the Fed is in no rush to cut the rate. They will wait until the uncertainty starts. So widening the Korea-US rate gap would also be very key for the Bank of Korea. On top of that, household is rising again, and prices have started to pick up, especially Seoul, city of Seoul, then reinstated land transaction permit system. That policy reversal contributed to the renewed speculation in housing market and added to concerns about the financial imbalances. So these developments ultimately supported a case for holding the rate steady in this meeting.
Although the rate freeze was a widely expected one, a rate cut could have also made sense considering the current economic situation. But today's rate freeze also came largely due to the volatility because of Trump's tariffs, right?
Right. It might have seemed appropriate given the slowing economy, but the Bank of Korea had to weigh other risks. First, financial stability. The BOK wasn't only concerned about trade tensions or tariffs. They also had external risk like exchange rate volatility and also internal risk, particularly the rising household debt for financial stability. Right now, the Korean won has been quite unstable, and cutting rate would put downward pressure on the currency, especially when U.S. rates staying high. At the same time, household debt growing again, and the housing market has shown signs of overheating. So in the Bank of Korea's view, the risk of feeling more financial instability, both in the market externally and household debt internally, was greater than the benefit of easing policy to support the economy. I think that's why they chose to hold the policy rate for now.
Well, I think we are all on the same page when it comes to a great need for economic stimulus. That is why the government is pushing for an extra budget, right?
Yeah, the government is pushing for a supplementary budget, but not only because the economy is weak. One important reason that we have to remember is that the original 2025 budget that was sharply cut during the National Assembly review process at the end of last year. The final version passed without bipartisan agreement, and over 1 trillion won was removed, impacting welfare, funds, AI, and disaster relief program when we had a very severe fires in the larger mountain areas in Korea. That's quite unprecedented in Korea's history, in recent financial history. So I think the extra budget is also about filling the gap, but it's aimed at stabilizing short-term demand and protecting key sectors under pressure from tariffs.
I see. Well, we do know that that will tame the local economic situations here in the country. And also, the South Korea is looking to solve tariff issues in the coming week. What else, other than tariffs, matters to stabilize the local economy then?
Tariffs are a major issue, but they are not the only one. One key factor is the U.S. Federal Reserve Fed Chair Jerome Powell has made it clear that the Fed is in no rush to cut rates.
Right.
If the Fed keep rates high, that limits the BOK's room to maneuver without currency outflows. Domestically, financial risks are rising, especially with household debt and renewed concerns in the real market. More, we also need to at Korea's long-term structural challenges. Boosting productivity, creating new growth engines, and supporting innovation in sectors like green tech and AI are all critical. A stabilized economy isn't just about risk, I think. It also means laying the ground for the next phase of growth. In that sense, structural reform will be a very important factor in near-term stimulus.
So a rate freeze for now. Professor, do you think a rate cut is possible or even necessary at the next monetary policy meeting in May?
Yes, I'm not sure about a necessity, but a rate cutting may be possible. The BOK is already in an easing cycle, as Bank of Korea governor mentioned yesterday. So this isn't just a one-off pause forever, but part of a broader cautious shift toward a more accommodating policy. If economic data continues to weaken as we expect now, and external conditions stabilize as we hope, the case for a rate cut could grow stronger. That said, the BOK is clearly moving very carefully. They are watching the Fed monitoring the exchange rate, close eye on household debt and the property market for internal financial stability. So while the direction of policy is clearly easing, the pace depends on how global and domestic risk evolve over time. But I would say that if current trends continue, a cut in May is definitely on the table.
Alrighty, Professor Lee, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.